Welcome back to the Corporate Esports Association's Dota 2 Spring 2020 tournament. Today we've got Twitch versus Dota Dust from Microsoft, and we've got Hero in the studio again.
Hey dudes, let's see what happens with this very interesting game.
I'm hearing the enthusiasm.
Dude, I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, we're
I want to see Huskar first pick.
We're kind of chugging through this. I'm still a week behind on this, and the week 6 replays haven't been released yet, but it's like another 8 games they need to cast. So
just not enough time in the world, man.
Nope. Got that full-time work.
First banning SF, I guess. Clinks, I don't think is really played right now. I mean, Kuroki played
Kuroki position 5 Clinks, dude.
Yeah. Kind of disgusting.
What? I watched the game and I'm like, what did this even do? I don't really get it.
So it's a lane dominator, right? Like, because Clinks' range is silly, and with the buff to his Q, he can eat a big creep every time it's up, so he gets the more armor and the more health. Yeah. So with that, you can kind of get your farm and you just spam out their carry.
Yeah, you can also orb walk with a searing arrow, so you don't draw aggro either, which is really frustrating to go against.
So but it's really memey. I don't think it's super viable. I think it really depends on the player and on the lineup, but it is definitely annoying. It would be annoying to play against.
Yeah, I remember I saw him play it twice. In the first game, he went for level 1 skeleton walk, and I'm like, this is going to do absolutely nothing. And then the second game, he went for searing arrows like a normal person would, and I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of see where this is going. The ulti is also super annoying because it scales off of your searing arrows, and you're gonna have max searing arrows at level 7 anyway, so it's
true. It just kind of just annoys.
Yeah, it does a non-trivial amount of damage. I have to say, I lost against one this morning, and I was pretty sad about it. It was a position 4 Clinks. In my defense, it was Clinks was not the issue. Naga Siren won the game, but the fact that Clinks was on the enemy team, we lost.
Every Naga game I've ever played against.
5 seconds remain.
I found a counter for Naga though. He go Beastmaster Ags. Just disgusting.
Is that the unlimited whirling axes?
Unlimited. No cooldown.
Cool. You just run out of mana, don't you?
Yeah, so I went for a Sange and Kaya. And I was gonna go Aether Lens.
Interesting.
So first pick AA. It's like we were kind of talking about before. I think this hero is deceptively strong.
I haven't played AA recently, so I don't have that much first-hand experience, but I feel AA is a little bit underwhelming. You pick it into oh, I want to counter a Necrophos or Chen or a Huskar, but then by himself it's eh.
I think it's especially in captain's mode, it really closes the draft out for the opposing team. It takes a lot of cheesy heroes kind of out of the pool.
Right. It's much like Nyx, right? I've seen AA Nyx, and then there's all these heroes you can't pick anymore. You can't pick Ember Spirit, you can't pick Void Spirit, you can't pick Huskar. Alright,
Dark Willow Lich. I think Willow also very...
I don't like Willow at all right now. I'm not a big fan.
I think you get a Puck in Willow, and it's interesting, but I don't think anyone on Dota plays Puck. What I've noticed from them is they always go push them.
Oh, look at that AA Nyx Assassin. That's the combo.
Called it. And so that has a lot of lane potential if they did play it either 3 and 4, because you can get the freeze off and impale. But this also closes the draft out for Dota DOS too. There's a lot of heroes they can't pick,
10 seconds to pick,
because it'll kind of destroy them either in the lane and in mid to lane.
Even these two heroes right now are going to struggle, right? Lich and Willow have a lot of uncontrollable damage between the Frost Shield, the Brambles, the Bedlam. You're just going to get stunned.
Chain Frost too, yeah. I agree. So I don't mind this as a first, second pick too. I think that really shuts a lot of options out for the opposing side. So I think it's pretty good for a 1 and 2 pick.
But at the same
Let's see
time,
what
like
they...
your lanes aren't very strong. Like Nyx
Agreed.
is pretty meh.
I think to get kind of the
Picking.
most out of it, you'd want Stunner. You'd want another Stunner with you to get the freeze off or to set up the Impale.
Yeah.
But they're banning out Mars and Underlords. So I'm curious to see what they're going to lane with Willow. Slardar's already out of the pool.
Yeah, Mars Willow is like a pretty nasty combo. You just keep like running
Only
into the
10
wall.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see. They kind of need a tanky
5
hero.
seconds.
Again,
Hurry.
choose through you. They need something that can sustain the output from AA. It's going to be a 4 Willow for sure. So whatever works best with either setting up a Bramble.
Radiant team are now picking.
See what they pick.
Tide
Tide Hunter. Not
Right.
bad. Not a ton of synergy. They have Chain Frost with Ravage, which is cool. But between Willow and Tide, there's not a whole lot of kill potential.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Tidehunter is a bit of a dead hero. He seems kind of underwhelming.
I
Only 10
play a
seconds.
ton of him right now. I pretty okay. Like his E just scales
5
so well.
seconds.
It works
Team
with
are now
Vlad.
picking.
Okay.
See, they picked the Razors. That could be a pause 1 or
Yeah, it seems like you already know what the matchup is, right? You're up against a Willow Tide, and so Razor will be able to shut them out.
pretty disgusting. I think Tide really struggles against the Monkey King. I think Monkey King Ursa would still be a viable
10
1 pick
seconds
for
to pick.
Twitch. Because
5
Razor
seconds
can
remain.
kind of play all 3. He feels pretty underwhelming in the, but it just
Radiant
makes your
team
carry a
pick.
little bit more scared to fuck up and block.
Faceless
They pick a
Void.
Void.
There's not
Okay,
much
so
to
they're just going
combo into
wombo
it though.
combo.
Is
They
there?
have Chain Frost, Ravage, they have Fear, and they have Chrono.
But you can't really like Dark Willow can't really use any of her spells into the Chrono. So you have to get close for the Bedlam. The
10
Fear doesn't
seconds
do
to pick.
anything. Like I guess you can set up for the Fear, but then like
For
what's
after, too.
Yeah. What's the difference between just like doing that and a Ravage, right? Like I think the Willow is not going to contribute to the Wombo combo.
Dire's ban.
Timber saw.
Timber Saw. So Timber's not scared of anything. So it's likely a pause 1 Razor. But to your point, I think they're just playing team fight. And this is one thing I noticed about Dota. They have a game plan and they go kind of regardless of what's picked.
Only 10
Yeah, I've definitely
seconds.
seen that in a previous game. They went like Snapfire Void, right?
5 seconds. Hurry.
Like they either go all push or they're going all
Radiant's
team fight.
ban.
All of these heroes have really great fight ability. I think the Fear is still viable just in case. You can either set it up after the Chrono for the heroes who aren't going to die in the Chrono. It's also a pretty good save for if this Void does get gone on after Chrono or without mana.
You probably want to use the Fear to like. You want to fear the people outside the Chronosphere
Right.
who are trying to like
10
help.
Right.
But I don't really. They don't have that much to deal with
5
this Timber
seconds
Saw right
remain.
now. Like Willow can dish out a lot of damage. But the other two are kind of like Void. It's gonna be a long time before Void can match up against this Timber.
See,
Radiant team are now picking.
the Timber, I don't think they don't have any reasonable answer to right now either. And what I feel
Yeah.
like is either you pick Timber and he completely train wrecks a game, or you pick Timber and you shut him down and it kind of stops that momentum. I don't think any of these heroes have a lot of momentum. They're playing a lot on the Razor right now. And I don't think Razor needs to snowball
10
to kind of
seconds
take
to
over a
pick.
game.
5 seconds. Dire team pick.
See what their mid is going
Puck.
to be. Okay, they are going to pick Puck.
Oh, Void is gonna have such a miserable game.
See what their mid is. I know God Gamer Bob Ross likes to pick Death Prophet. I think that's like his most comfortable mid hero.
DP
And I'm not too sure. It's kind of like Puck is one of those heroes that
10 seconds to pick.
like no matter what the lane is, it feels pretty good. Okay, they're gonna pick OD. OD answers the Timber. He answers the Razor at least. He gets out of suck. AA will die in any chrono period.
It's not as bad against Nyx as it used to be because you steal mana instead of int. So the mana burn from Nyx doesn't hurt as much as it used to. I mean, I could definitely see them taking it in the late game, but can they get there? I feel like Twitch is just gonna run them down. Like,
so again, like we talked about, they went in. So that's their entire play right now is going to be team fight. And I'm not sure, we saw another team do this, you and I did, who went all in on the team fight, and it came down to execution. So I think their heroes are decent. I don't think that there's any kind of huge draft advantage. I'd probably, if the Timber runs away with this game, it's going to be a problem. But I think the Razor can get successfully bullied out. But if the Timber has a really great game, then it's going to be an...
Let's have a good clean match today.
Oh yeah, safe lane Razor, that makes sense. You want to shut down the Tidehunter. I want to see if they make a lane swap on the side of Microsoft. Because Tide against Razor seems pretty miserable.
I think Void against Razor is better just because he can leap out of the back. I think also Tide versus Timber, they're two heroes who are just going to sit there.
Yeah.
And Anchor Smash is physical as well, and it'll only... I don't even think that'll count as stack.
I think Anchor Smash reduces the amount you get from like Static Link, like the... Anchor Smash is all
Anchor
damage.
Smash, yeah, it's not going to go towards his Timber. So I think you might be on the right path. Probably being more.
Well, it looks like some standard lane setups is happening here, and I think this really favors Twitch.
I would agree. I'm curious to see how OD is going to do versus Puck. I think there's not a lot of kill potential on either side.
Okay, so level 1 Anchor Smash on Diabolica. He also has no regen, so if he takes a lot of damage here, he's not really going to be able to heal up. A full Static Link, dealing 35 damage. Level 1 Static Link isn't that scary, but the level 2 one is pretty horrifying.
Yep. See, some pretty even blocks coming out mid. So OD does have the higher base damage, and Astral is enough to kind of start denying the Puck.
Yeah, this would be a pretty hard lane for Puck if God Game of Bob Ross plays it well. But
again, like I just don't think Puck gets countered by almost any hero. I think the right player on Puck, it makes it very difficult. Ooh, missing some last hits here. I think Razor's just gonna suck off cooldown.
Yeah, there's no reason not to, right? Like, what is a Willow gonna do? Drop a Bramble Maze? Sure, but then like, it's a pretty short duration, especially early on. It's only 1 second.
And I don't think actually Tide cares so much about suck because Anchor Smash can still last it.
Yep.
Oh.
But you also take a ton of damage. Oh, nice impale from Nixon. They get the first blood on the Lich.
Completely missed that too. Yeah, I don't think they have an answer for Timber.
Big thing. Chase down this Tidehunter, but Razor gets rooted. I feel like he could have gone through it if he navigated the maze properly, but well. You're still pushing this Tide out of lane, who still has no regen. He's got Tangos now arriving on his courier.
You just shotgun the Ring of Trask. It's one thing I've noticed almost no team is doing right still.
I feel like this could be a good Ring of Taras game for Tide here. Get some extra regen. He's already got the headdress though.
The difference being that like the Ring of Health is so similar and it builds into items that you can have to use.
Yeah, you're
but
not really gonna
this
use...
OD is not having great times versus Puck. feel like it probably shouldn't be this super one-sided, but OD also feels a little bit difficult to navigate before you have kind of more skill points in your W.
Nice two-man impale from Chirashi here. Stanky Danky, he's going for another hit. No
Oh,
bash
he's
available.
got it.
The Frost Armor is coming
Nice,
out.
good choice.
Shouldn't commit the time. Oh, okay, he's not going to be able to get it.
He made the right choice there. Nyx had popped the E.
Yeah, if he time walked for that, it would have been a disaster.
See, Puck has the bottle completed now too. He's getting, I think, a little bit too much for free.
Yeah, I mean, you've driven the Nyx back at top, but is it really a big deal? Like, Timber's gonna get free the solar XP, so.
What do you think OD's item is though? Because with how much Wombo they have, I'm not sure if the Ags is the correct build. I think you might just want to go some damage.
Maybe like go straight for an Aether Lens.
Maybe the Hurricane Spike too, but that's not going to help you with Coil.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary for them too because the Coil they have to worry about.
Maybe Ags
going
is
down
like,
bottom.
Ags seems like the safest choice. Like Diabolic is gonna
Razor
get
might get
here.
2. Razor might, yeah, he's gonna get 2.
He's definitely gonna get 2. One more hit finishes him off. 72 solid damage. Needs to be careful not to die to the Bramble Maze though.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think oh, Timber, he's getting really low. He's almost gonna go down, but he managed to Timber Chain out of there. Just barely making it out.
It's 2 points in time walk. He's got 1. Yeah, I think he needs a couple more bashes to try to get lucky with this Timber. I don't love the lane setup too. I think rotating the lane would be a face spot for them. OD's getting gone on mid. He's gonna be fine. Yeah. He's got 2 nulls.
Puck almost a full level ahead of OD as well, so gonna have that Dream Coil really
20
early.
To 8.
Yeah, this is
15 to 4. Oh, he's diving for him too.
He's gonna go down here.
He gets him.
Can't even Astral to save himself.
Yeah, with the silence from Puck. I feel like this Lich just needs to kind of chain pull and just Timber's gonna do Timber things. They have no real kill potential on them, in my opinion. I think you just try to trade the
click on the Tidehunter here. It's not gonna kill him. Race is getting a little bit low.
He's out of mana too on Razor. He's only got 4 stick.
Yeah, this.
He's got regen ferried out as well as his
Tide's not spamming the Anchor Smash hard enough here. Oh, there you go.
Tide with no regen is a little bit scary too.
Puck's top
Bramble's
now.
gonna whiff.
Dream Coil is available. Dream Coil goes off onto the Faceless Void here, and he's certainly dead.
This is kind of the scary point. 2 points in reactive armor. If he gets 1 more, start tanking the tower. He's not gonna work.
Yeah, he doesn't have any stacks built up yet, but Puck is gonna
They're
dive
still
this
going.
Lich here.
Miss the impale.
I think Lich is very dead.
Instant TP back to mid too. He's gonna put his talisman in the backpack for max mana from the bottle. And Bodroth's still level 5, and this is like a little bit scary because it's almost a 2-level.
Yeah, I don't really know what he's gonna do here. Oh, that was a bit of a mistake. He should have just let the creep stay alive and then killed the creep with the Astral.
I agree. He also doesn't have vision top, and he knows this puck has to be really challenged, and it's not so difficult with Astral. Because if this puck gets at DD, he's going to look to do another stage. But OD is one of those heroes where play from behind it never feels as good. Since they kind of nerfed the Q to not do splash damage, you have a really hard time flash farming.
Yeah. This hero's been changed a lot in like the last year.
And I think with the Q splash, it really gave him more viability. But with that being out of the pocket, it's not a hero that can naturally run to the...
Oh no, Dream
It's gonna get coiled straight up mid.
OD, and looks like Astra's gonna get popped. Dream Coil's gonna be able to run out, but I think he's gonna be able to make it out of there. South gets delivered as well.
And this Willow, they're gonna decide to sack the Tidehunter, because Tide, as long as he gets the XP for the Ravage, it's all he needs. Bramble's gonna catch Timber.
I don't think the kill this Timber. 3 points in reactive armor.
He gets the bash.
Doesn't matter how many bashes he can.
So I think they're just gonna try lane to try to get this void.
I think an early point in time dilation could do a lot here as well. There's a lot of spells on Timber.
See what he ends up going for as an item too. I think if I play this game as void, I'm going to Diesel.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. It's like the best bang for your buck damage wise. It gives you a little bit of extra slow.
One of the best ways to shut that Timber down is to nuke all those mana. This Lich is in trouble. Looking for the Impale, it whiffs the Impale.
Yeah, like between like time dilation and diffusal, he can do a lot of work on this Timber Saw.
Nice D-ward by the Tide Hunter.
Puck's gonna head
He's still
again.
no regen.
He's got the headdress. That's all you need. Alright,
got
Puck's gonna head top.
flying up.
This is gonna be another easy setup. Stanky Danky, not quite level 6 yet, so he can't drop a Chronosphere. And this Dream Coil is gonna destroy
he's
them.
one
But
wave away from
though.
this.
But Dream Coil onto 2.
Just break it, just break it.
Into a follow-up.
Oh no.
Ooh.
He whiffed the Bramble there. Oh, he brambled the creeps. This Dark Willow is just kind of AFK doing her own thing.
You can take this tower pretty early on as well, before the 10-minute mark even.
And this is the point you don't want to be in versus Timber. The only way to kind of defeat a Timber lineup is to either ignore him completely and get kills outside of the map, or you really got to shut him down here. But he's level 6, 3 points in reactive. He can tank a full tower. And that just frees Nyx up to go be annoying elsewhere. Nyx still not level 6.
He'll get there's a time in a minute, so he'll probably grab it off that.
So this is still kind of the scary point of the game, is that Twitch has level advantage from Microsoft. They have none of their big team fight skills available. This Timber gets stunned out of the roof.
The Chrono's available. He gets dropped.
One dash.
See how many bashes he can get? 1 bash, 2 bash. Oh, he's so close.
You get it? You get it?
Oh, he's not gonna get it.
No
Needed a
bash.
third bash there, but not quite enough.
That feels bad. Meanwhile, Tide goes down, solo the Razor, full static in.
It's 160 seconds on that Chronosphere cooldown now as well, so you have to make them count.
So this is the point now. So they've decided to sack Tide, but they're really not buying their Void any space. I feel like you gotta make a move on this Puck somehow.
Yeah, you almost feel like Puck is the one you should be chronoing, right? Like, Puck's still pretty squishy, only 1000 HP.
And with the issue being with the tri-lane too, is now their supports are way under level.
Oh, Puck with an invis at top now. I think this is going to be a pretty easy triple kill for Link Dex here. The Puck call has been made. Nyx is
Bramble on cooldown too.
Dream Coil is going to hit on all 3 with a big silence as well. So it looks like these heroes, there's Coil gets snapped on Stanky Danky, just trying to get out of there. So it could time walk, but he's going to die anyway. So easy rotation from Link Dex there.
This is kind of the scary point.
This is a big...
And the Tome is still available on Microsoft. And none of their... Okay, Tide just hit 6, he has Ravage available. Ravaging the Puck is very unlikely.
Yeah, I feel like giving the Tome to Lich is probably the best bet right now. I'm trying to get him to level 6 for a Chain Frost. You could go for a Bedlam as well, but I think I prefer Chain Frost. It just feels a lot easier to execute, right? Like, you can throw the Chain Frost into Chrono, but you can't Bedlam into the Chrono.
And he does take it. He has 6 now. I think that is the right play as well.
Oh, another solo kill. Mask of Madness on the Razor now as well.
This is a build I really do want to experiment with.
It seems really
the Mask
good,
of Madness
right?
into Yasha.
Like,
all
all your spells have...
spells on,
they have really long cooldowns.
This OD is in trouble. He gets coiled. Silence. He drops the hammer to no avail. He's gonna Astral himself to buy some time.
Seems like he's gonna be okay.
He's got a salve.
Alright, well, Chrono's up soon. Link Dex, he wants it. He's gonna silence.
He's gonna go for the dive. 10 seconds on Chrono if they can buy the time. The Bramble's super late.
I think you can't... You can illusory orb out of roots, right? can't remember. I feel like they've changed it and then they like reverted it maybe.
So they're putting Tide against Timber now, which is probably fine. These are two heroes that likely aren't going to do much against each other.
I feel like Timber could potentially blow up this Tide if Tide isn't careful. Being a strength hero against Welling Death is pretty scary.
He's got, I think, enough in his toolkit to kind of slow that down. He could Ravage defensively here. I don't see them making any kind of group plays just with their movement.
Nice impale from the Nyx here, and Willow's gonna get blown up. And Puck has Dream Coil again, so we'll see if we're gonna look for Stanky Danky here.
Okay, as I said, that this Tide is getting bullied. He just ate a full shot.
Data is available now, and Impale not gonna go for it. Trashy. Oh.
Pump fakes it.
Oh, the bait
You
with a
can't
courier.
here either. Nice.
Alright. Puck wasn't there to follow up. He has Dream Coil. He's gonna look for the OD. Looks like Dream Coil on the OD. And gonna Astral himself, but Razor's here now. There's no Astral anymore to save himself. OD's gonna go down again.
I think he had to use the Astral on Puck.
Yeah, and Tide in the meantime, he lost all his mana, so isn't able to get the Ravage off. Also, an early point in mana burn, not something you see every day.
I think he's just, like, he has max Impale, and he's just looking for a way to get that last hit if Timber can't secure it.
Yeah.
But this Razor, freest game.
It seems like it's a free game for all three of the cores, right? It's already reflected in the net worth chart. 13k gold advantage, 14 minutes in.
It's the coveted
the golden number.
1k per minute. So this is what we were kind of talking about with why I feel like the lane swap would have been the appropriate play. I don't think there's much Tide Willow is going to do against the Timber anyway. But I think you give Void more of a chance against Razor, right?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. So OD's going for 4 staff straight up. Good way to break the link. Does definitely not is going to help him with the coil. I think almost maybe a blink, so we can Astral blink.
Dire's bottom tower under fire.
Okay, they're gonna look for a smoke, so they want to try to execute their game plan.
Alright, Trashy
they have
pops the smoke. The Vendetta's pop. Nice 2-man chrono, but Bob gave him, gotta give Bob Ross his caught on the outside. The Ice Boss comes through. Ravage comes out. Void is already dead. They managed to catch the 3 heroes in the Ravage, but not gonna be enough there. Chain Frost gonna finish off the Nyx and the Razor though.
the fear whiffs too. This is kind of what we talked about as well. When your whole game plan is reliant around your cooldowns, and they just used everything they had. They did manage to pop the Razor, but they lost Void in response to that. But now they can't fight. They can't take a fight, and this Puck just walked away completely unscathed.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're Void, your only option is chronoing Puck. I mean, the Razor was, you know, I probably would have gone for that as well, but this Puck is the problem. You have so much control with OD for the Razor that you need to catch this Puck.
Yeah, Puck with the blink now is going to be really hard to catch down. Starting to put points in phase shift as well. Makes it even harder to track this elusive dragon.
This Void is going for a Maelstrom. I feel like he's just looking to kind of push out the waves. He's getting gone on Puck.
Willow's just going to get blown up by this Razor here. Astral on the Razor, but I don't think they have any follow-up here. Puck has Dream Coil again, so if they dive too deep on the Razor, they're just going to get Dream Coil and die.
He's just let it go. This Timber has a Bloodstone now as well. He's just tanking the tower.
Dire's top tower is being attacked. Dire's top tower has fallen.
Razor has these Saint Jinyasha finished as well, Mascabanis. I feel like he shoots a BKB and that breaks a lot of the Microsoft Green sign as well.
Yeah, I mean he could also go for an axe because they kind of lack tower push right now.
See that too. I'm curious to see what this. Okay, so it looks like Puck is going for the Yules. See if he goes to caster.
He went for the damage talent, not the cast range talent.
See, we got ults coming up soon. We got 20 seconds on Chrono, 27 on Hammer, and we got 19. So they're gonna look to do this again. I would probably suggest they smoke out and look for a wrap.
Yeah, they need to find the puck. I think that's like their only chance of winning the team fight, right?
100% to play. I think you just Astral the Razor and you go directly on this puck. But the problem being Chrono is going to kind of force him into the AA ult, and he's popping the Mask of Madness too.
Yeah, there's no blink yet on the Tide, so like Void has to be the one to start the fight here. But it's really hard to start with a good Chrono, especially because he's not close to level 20 at all for the cast range, the time walk. And the other thing is, like, finding puck is not going to be easy either, because he has a blink, so he can just stay in the backlines really far away. The smoke comes out, the Astral onto the Nyx here, onto the Razor here, and Razor he actually goes down. Puck is arriving though, so Puck, can he get the 3-man Dream Coil? Nice 3-man as well. The Ravage comes out, but the whole team is dead, so there's no follow-up.
No Chrono was popped there. He got caught out by the Dream Coil. That's the scary part. They got the kill on the Razor, but he's not the problem.
Oh, nice blink forward. Ultra kill on Link Dex. Can he get the Rampage? And it looks like
give it to him, Lich.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay, they still have Chrono available, but that's all they got. They got Chrono and they got Willow. But I don't think this puck dies in a Chrono, and kind of with his item build too.
Dude, puck only has 700 HP, so it is possible, but it seems pretty difficult to land.
He might have to get the Nyx in the Chrono as well, so he just would get impaled for half the duration.
Yeah, that'd be a big deal. He has to like next level dodge the impale, which is not unfeasible. You have like 1 billion move speed in the Chrono.
I think the play is, I think they needed a blink on OD. I don't think Warstaff is correct. I think if they could blink Astral the puck and set up the Chrono right on top of him, so he has no opportunity to blink out. Because if you time walk at this puck, he's blinking. Like, you're gonna whiff a Chrono.
Yeah. They shift attacks. It's time to go for a Deso.
I think kind of to answer that tower.
I mean, he's got a Chrysalis, but this isn't 7.24. Oh, no, Tide getting caught out here. He's gonna die before he can TP out of it. The Dream Coil comes out. Snap as
big
well.
Snap.
The big Chain Frost coming
Chrono,
out here.
he gets him, he gets him. Wrong target, wrong target.
Fear as well. Can they get the puck? No, he's not even going for the puck. A nice impale from the Nyx Assassin will save the puck for the time being, and they're gonna get wiped here.
He was hitting the Razor, and I understand his kind of thought process behind it, but you need the puck. The puck is the problem entirely. That was also a very broken fight.
Yeah,
kind of some save a body syndrome.
Like, there's no Ravage, there's no Hammer.
I think if he had hit the puck, I think the puck was dead, and that puck is gonna give up a ton of gold that Void could. He's going for the Maelstrom to push out waves, because I think they realize they're going to play with disadvantage, and they need some
It's
form
also
of
like a
wave
pretty
play.
cost-efficient damage item for the Void. It's not a bad one, but they don't have the Chrono anymore, so I don't know how they're going to kill this puck.
They do have a Ravage available.
It's like, puck is in. But big Ice Blast coming through. Python already finishing off the Willen here. And one more hit from the puck beyond Godlike. Python almost goes down. He actually will go to the tower. Ravage comes down, but they can't really kill this puck right now. Actually, maybe. Oh, but the Yules. Void. Be able to make it out of there for now.
Void too. Can you make it? No, it's with the Q. This puck just gonna TP base. It kind of gives them some breathing space. They lost 1 Rax for that.
Yeah, I mean the ultis are coming. Oh, they use Ravage, Sanities as well. The Chrono's coming back up in a minute.
He did manage to finish the Maelstrom. Again, I think I would have way preferred a Diesel Rush.
Shiba's guard almost done a Timber. Oh, it's gonna be even tankier.
The only answer to Timber is this OD, but this OD just doesn't have the damage to kind of take him out. This puck is in.
Oh, the Dream Coil misses. But he's on the low ground. He's gonna get called out. He does have buyback. He's up in 30 seconds.
No
He's so low
Ravage.
leveled.
This puck is just kind of hitting. He's got a Daedalus finished on puck. Okay, the buyback comes out.
Alright, buyback on Tide, but he doesn't have Ravage for a minute, so was this really worth it? Maybe he should have just stayed in it. Oh, the Chrono comes out with nice impale from the Nyx Assassin.
Oh no.
And they're not able to get the puck at all.
That's the call it.
That's like almost setting the game.
I feel like both games we've seen where the teams have drafted this big team fight lineup, if they don't get the execution in the early game, then it's just kind of, they're kind of at a point now where they can't fight. Once all the ultis are gone, and what did they get out of it? They didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the scary part about making a draft like this is if you don't capitalize on the opportunity you have, it feels pretty bad trying to play without those ultis because those heroes individually don't do a ton.
The
It
other
looks
thing
like they're
for
just
the
gonna try
other
to
team
close
is
it
like
out.
it feels really easy to play into, right? Like you know, like oh, the other team that they want to make a move with like their ultis right now. They're all going to be grouped up. Let's just shove the waves out. Oh, impale onto the Void here. BKB popped on the Razor. He wants it. The Ice Blast is coming through. It's got to clip onto all three heroes that are left. And Timber, can he tank the Fountain for his team? Ooh, big Dream Coil as well. Yep, everyone's dead. Puck just annihilating everyone.
Woof. Yeah, GG gets dropped. Ravage hits Timber, still
he's so
can't
close
finish
to
him.
dying. Oh, that was quite a stumping.
I think they kind of got to go back to the drawing board on Dota DOS here, and they just got to rethink some of the drafts. They kind of, like I said, they're going one game plan, and that game plan is super telegraphed. I think they need to open up their draft with more heroes who have different opportunities to play different playstyles.
Yeah, I didn't mind the opener that much. Like Lich Willow seems pretty flexible, but then like the Tide came out, and then like got countered by Razor, so that was pretty rough. And then the Void came out, and it was like, oh, okay, well, like, there's a lot of wombo combo happening here, but they're gonna have a lot of downtime. They better win their lanes really hard, and they didn't.
And that's just the scary thing. I just think they need to be a little bit more versatile. And I don't think we've yet to see a full team fight combo win a game in this tournament so far.
Yeah. I think generally it's just really hard, right? Because you have so much downtime between your like wombo combo. It's really hard to like make the most out of it. Because like think about this like Dota DOS lineup. Even if they win a fight, they don't really have anyone to take towers with, right?
Definitely. I just think they gotta kind of reconsider their playstyle a bit and work on probably getting a little bit more in lane. I don't think Puck should have got as much as he did that early. Playing against Puck is kind of difficult for a mid hero just because Puck doesn't lose a ton of matchups. But I feel like just with some CSing early game, I think OD could have gotten off to a better start, and it just comes down to itemization as well.
I don't know. I feel like this was also a really hard OD game. Like what he needs like a lot of items to be like that big raid boss, like a BKB plus like maybe another item after.
I feel like he has the only catch on Puck though. If he had gone for a blink over the 4-staff, A, he can Astral himself and blink out, and then B, he can blink directly on Puck and Astral him to set up for the chrono.
Makes sense.